everyone, Niklsun here, and welcome back to Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. This is a show where we break down all of the day's movie news and go over what it means for the production in general. If you're looking for a specific story, check the description of this video below. You can see the start times as to when they all start. But without any further ado, let's get started with today's hot topics. I've been asking myself this one specific question over the past couple of months. And I think now we have enough concrete information, or, well, not concrete information, but we have enough information at our hands to make a really intelligent guess as to why or whether or not this will be true. And it's whether or not Marvel Studios will actually attend San Diego Comic-Con 2016. Now, they haven't made any formal announcements that they're not going to be showing up, but as we all know, last year they decided not to be involved in San Diego Comic-Con for their film division. I mean, they just didn't have enough material to show. It didn't make sense. And I understood it then if that was the main reason. The other reason was because they had not only just had their big event at the El Capitan Theater in Los Angeles the previous October, where they announced their entire Phase 3 slate, but because Marvel had now gotten to a point where they were their own entity, really, they could decide to no longer show up at Comic-Con. And I personally believe that would be a disservice because you're now doing it solely based on a business decision. You're not doing it based on fans. You're not doing it based on, rewarding your fans, especially people who waited in hours and hours and hours in line to go and see these panels. Or especially when you make these announcements. This is what really ticked me off last year was I didn't go. So, I mean, take this however you will. But they waited until, now maybe they just didn't have the decision, but they waited until well after all the tickets had been purchased, and hotels had been booked, and flights had been booked, and all this kind of stuff before they said, oh yeah, by the way, we're not going to be there. One of the marquee panels every year at Comic-Con decided, no, we're not going to show up. And that really let a lot of people down, a lot of fans. Now, it hasn't hurt them in the box office, and I think they're aware of that, but I would hope that they would see that what they did, while they didn't have enough material to go, I hope that they rectify that this year. And here's a couple of reasons why I think that Marvel will actually be at San Diego Comic-Con 2016. First off, there's no D23. Last year they had D23 where they could show off a little bit of their Captain America Civil War footage, but that's realistically that's all they had. So having an entire panel at Hall H would not have made sense. They were part of the hour-long live-action Disney panel at D23, along with Jungle Book and Pete's Dragon and Pirates and Star Wars. And so there's that. There's no D23 this year because it's a biannual event. So there will be one in 2017, but not in 2016. Doctor Strange and Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Both of them open after Comic-Con this year, well after Comic-Con this year, and they open before Comic-Con of next year. So there's two films that would already have been, like Doctor Strange, they could very well unveil the first trailer there. Because this is another point. I'm going to veer off just for a second. I've had a lot of people, or I've seen a lot of comments online about, when are we going to get a Doctor Strange trailer? When are we going to get a Doctor Strange trailer? And if you look back to 2013, I mean, Guardians was an exception because Guardians had their first trailer premiere because it was completely separate. They had their first trailer premiere in February, before Winter Soldier came out in April. But, not Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier. But when you look at Thor, okay, or what was the year before? Iron Man 3 and Thor. In 2013, they waited until after the release of Iron Man 3 to show the first trailer and first footage for Thor: The Dark World. They waited until that film was already out of the gate before we started to see footage from it. I have a really good feeling, and it's a high likelihood that we're going to get our first glimpse of Doctor Strange after Captain America Civil War opens. I think Marvel is wanting to put all their eggs in that basket right now. There's a lot of characters they got to deal with, and they can't really worry about having another marketing team have to take care of what they're going to be doing with the Doctor Strange advertisements. So that's one thing. I don't believe that we're going to see a Doctor Strange trailer before then, which means that having it in July during Comic-Con makes perfect sense to unveil the very first trailer. And I think because we got a teaser trailer for Thor: The Dark World, and they unveiled the first full-length trailer at Comic-Con, and then we got that publicly released. I want to say a month and a half or 2 months after Comic-Con, we got that publicly released. So there's that. I don't believe that they're going to showcase any footage from that movie until Comic-Con, which makes it even more special for them to be there because they can unveil that footage first and then unveil it online a couple of weeks after that for the rest of the world. Spider-Man, who it's a Sony picture. So Sony and Columbia are making the movie. Marvel is Kevin Feige is executive producing the movie. Marvel is connected to this film. They could use this Comic-Con as a means of showing off something from the new Spider-Man, because we're going to get a little bit of him in Civil War. We're not really going to get an idea of what kind of Spider-Man this is. He's going to be different. We know that. We just don't know exactly how different. Having a 5 or a 10-minute segment of their hour-long panel at Comic-Con could give us a little bit more information, flesh out this world, really give us an idea, maybe even unveil some casting saying like, oh, by the way, Kraven the Hunter is going to be the villain, or, like they could use this as a really big springboard to get a lot of people on board with this film. They could also use it. This is the big one. This is the one I at least hope gets done, because this is the biggest opportunity they could use for this. Unveiling the official casting announcement for Miss Marvel, or Captain Marvel, I should say. If they did that at Comic-Con, I mean, the way that they did Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther at their, I guess you could call it Marvel event that they did in October of 2014, they could bring her out on stage and unveil her casting there instead of reading it in a trade, because that's going to be big casting, especially for Marvel. That's their first female-centric superhero film. Wonder Woman's going to be DC's first. Captain Marvel is going to be Marvel's first. So that could be a really great way to introduce her, unless they introduce her in Thor Ragnarok, which that's another possibility, because they seem to be wanting to introduce new characters in already existing films. Even though we'd already met Bucky, we got to see Winter Soldier be shown to us for the first time in Winter Soldier. When it came to Black Panther, they're introducing us to Black Panther in Captain America Civil War. So they're showing that or even in Winter Soldier, I mean, it was just a name drop, but they name dropped Doctor Strange. I mean, they're using other films to launch other characters, whether it's a very minor mention or it's a big inclusion like Black Panther will be. So whether or not Thor Ragnarok is used as a jumping board or a springboard for the casting of Captain Marvel, we still don't know. But I would really love it if they announced that casting this year at Comic-Con, because Thor Ragnarok is going to be filming soon. I think they start filming in June or July. I'm not exactly sure when the filming starts, but they're on tap for November of next year. Thor Ragnarok's going to be a big film with a first-time director. They're going to want to have a lot of time to correct some things. There's obviously going to be some reshoots scheduled. They do that with every film, so don't even worry if you hear about reshoots. So I have a feeling that, they're going to probably start filming in June or July. They said summer, so maybe even they might do it late summer, but they'll have the casting at least in the bag. Whether or not they publicly announce that, we still don't know. So, you got to look at all of those things, whether or not it's Doctor Strange and Guardians 2 will have a lot of footage. Doctor Strange will have a lot of visual effects done. Guardians will be already completed filming. They came to Comic-Con in 2013 after a week and a half of filming, and they had a trailer. So if they're completely done filming, I would love it if they came in and they showed off a really good trailer there. Spider-Man could show off the new universe they're creating with his character and the way that they're developing him different from the previous films. We could get an official casting announcement of Captain Marvel. There's a lot of stuff that they now have that they can unveil at Comic-Con this year. So that's why I believe that Marvel will, in fact, attend San Diego Comic-Con 2016. And I hope that I'm not wrong. I hope that they don't do this to the fans, because that will be really bad to the fans. Like, only because, I gotta be careful how I word this. Only because of the precedent they've already set. The San Diego Comic-Con helped launch the MCC or the MCU, because that's where they first unveiled, or they announced, Iron Man and Ant-Man back in 2006. They showed off the first footage for Iron Man. Every year they had the entire panel or the entire cast of Avengers show up on stage I mean, this has been a linchpin in the success for Marvel Studios up until this point, at least a small part of it. So I feel that it would be a disservice to not have them there. So I believe that Marvel will in fact be there this year in 2016. What do you guys think? What else would you like them to unveil? Like, realistically speaking, like, not say, I want to see the entire cast of the Inhumans, or I want to know all the characters in Infinity War. No, being realistic, what would you like them? Would you like there to be another new project that you'd like them to secretly announce? Or we're not going to get Phase 4 information until 2018 at the earliest, probably 2019. And I think Inhumans is going to be the first film of Phase 4. I think they're going to reshuffle that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And until next time, take care. Well, that'll about do it for us here on Coming Soon Movie News with Niklsun. Thank you so much for watching. You guys have been a great audience. Go ahead and click that subscribe button there in the bottom corner. You get updates whenever a new video is posted. You can also follow me on Twitter or Facebook at Niklsun, Niklsun, for all of your movie updates. And also like our Facebook fan page at facebook.com/movie news with Niklsun. If you ever have a topic or question you'd like to have talked about on the show, go ahead and email me at movienewswithniklsun@gmail.com or put a comment in the comment section. But until next time, you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.